Pastor Emmanuel Adiemi was known for his wisdom, humility, and unshakable faith. His small church in Lagos had become a sanctuary for many, not because it was grand, but because his words carried healing. People said, God speaks through him, and perhaps he did. But Pastor Emmanuel had one blind spot: his wife, Lydia. Lydia was stunning, eloquent, and admired by the congregation at first. She sang in the choir, led women's fellowship, and stood tall beside her husband. But behind closed doors, her heart was not tethered to the altar. It was tied to ambition, status, and power. As the church began to grow, Lydia saw opportunity. "Why do you preach for free?" she whispered at night. "You deserve more. Look at those other pastors' houses, cars, status. Are you not also a servant of God?" At first, Emmanuel resisted. "We serve, not sell," he'd say gently. But Lydia pressed on. "Just bless the offering basket a little more. Ask for prophetic seeds. You can still be righteous but wise too." Eventually, Emmanuel gave in, softly at first, then boldly. The sermons changed, less about grace, more about giving. More promises, less purpose. The pews filled. The bank account swelled. Lydia smiled more. Emmanuel smiled less. He began to lose sleep, haunted by dreams of his early days, of the barefoot boy who once preached on street corners. Now, his shoes were designer. And then came the scandal. It started with a young widow, Sister Clara, who had sold her late husband's land and sowed the entire profit as a seed, believing Lydia's promise that God would return it sevenfold. When nothing happened, she spoke out quietly at first, then louder. Others joined her. Lydia panicked. She told Emmanuel to silence her, even suggested paying thugs to frighten Clara. That was the moment something snapped. "I am still his servant," Emmanuel said quietly. "I will not go further." Lydia scoffed. "You're already too far." The next Sunday, Emmanuel climbed the pulpit. The church was packed. He wept. Then, to everyone's shock, he confessed every lie, every manipulation, every seed misused. He begged the congregation's forgiveness. He handed over the keys of the church to the elders and stepped down. But Lydia wasn't done. Days later, she filed a police report, claiming Emmanuel was abusive and had forced her into the schemes. She filed for divorce, demanded property, and went on social media to expose him. The world believed her. Emmanuel was left alone, disgraced, and jobless. The church split. Some still believed in him. Most did not. Years passed. One day, in a small village, a new fellowship started under a tree. Just 10 people. No microphones, no offerings, just one quiet man reading scripture. A boy asked, "Sir, were you ever a big pastor before?" The man smiled faintly. "I was, but now I am just a man God forgave after the scandal." Emmanuel confesses everything, but later we learn he never. Watch out for part to subscribe, like and share.